Hello guys! A friend of mine is always using his hunter with the Mothkeepers wraps, so I decided to do a build around them. In this build, we will be able to suspend and blind targets. We have two ways to stop unstoppable champions, and it's amazing for crowd control. We have Unraveling Grounds that will make our primary hit like a truck and kill lots and lots of enemies. We can have Devour because of Buried Bloodline, and when we have Devour, we get health and grenade regeneration, and I think a lot of people forget that Devour also gives you grenade regeneration. And we have amazing grenades that will damage and blind enemies, or give you overshields, or just do both. That's right, Mothkeepers wraps are amazing. They are very smart because they can read the map. Basically, this exotic replaces our grenade with a cage of loyal moths, and when you use our grenade ability, we throw two moths. If we throw them and only enemies are around, it spawns two arc moths, and that will deal damage and blind targets in that area. If no enemies are around, it will spawn two void moths that will seek you or allies and give them overshields. And if there are enemies and allies, it will spawn one arc and one void, so one offensive moth and one defensive moth, and that's amazing. And the best part is they have an amazing range, so you don't need to be precise. If you're like me, you're just throwing them almost at random and they will do their job. It's very, very good. We are going to pair it with Rufus Fury, a strand auto rifle that can have the Militionist. But don't worry, if you don't do raids, if you don't have Rufus Fury, you probably have an Old Sterling. Old Sterling is also on a strand, legendary auto rifle, and that can drop with the Militionist. And the Militionist will be amazing in this build because it will give you 10% grenade energy on kill. If it's enhanced, it's 11%. So your grenade regeneration will be through the roof. On my secondary slot, I'm using Buried Bloodline. I love Buried Bloodline. It's so good, and that's how we get Devour in a strand build. And with Devour, when you kill enemies, we get health, but again, you also get grenade energy. And grenade energy from Devour, it ranges from 7.5% up to 20%, and depends on the tier of the enemy. So the stronger the enemy, more grenade energy you will get. But don't worry guys, if you don't have Buried Bloodline, you can go with whatever you like. Most people use X-Series with this build. Is a grenade launcher that acts the same way as the Mothkeepers wrap, so when you kill with that weapon, you generate two moths, and the same rules apply. If you're near them, you get one void. If you're not, it's two arcs. Same rules. The thing is, honestly, if you're doing art content, it's not that good. It was buffed recently, got a 6% increase in damage, I think, but it's still not enough for tough content, so you'll be fine with Embedded Kindness, honestly. On our heavy, I went with Marcato 45. It's an amazing heavy machine gun. It's a strand machine gun. It can drop with the Militionist on the third column, and for example, you can have Onslaught on the third column, or even Hatchling. So amazing machine gun for strand builds, especially this one that focus a lot on the grenade. This build is so much fun. Look at this. We are in Lake of Shadows. It's the weekly GM. A lot of people have trouble with the Tormentor. Our mods can blind them, and if we don't have our grenade, we can suspend them. It's awesome. The amount of control you have with this build is amazing, and you have a roaming super, which is really strong. So let me show you how I built it. I use Marksman Dodge because it's faster and reloads my weapons, and Auto Grenade does not matter because this exotic will override it. In the aspects, I went with Whirling Maelstrom. It's just amazing. When you destroy a Tangle, you create a strand cyclone that seeks enemies and does a lot of damage. It's amazing for big groups of enemies, and it's great for every type of content in the game, even GMs. On the second aspect, it may seem strange, but let me explain. Most of you would probably think I would pick Widow Silk. That gives you an additional grenade charge, meaning we would have 3 grenade charges. The reason I don't like this is it doesn't fit my playstyle at all. I use my abilities a lot. If I have a grenade, I'm gonna use it. How many times did you save your abilities for that right moment, and that right moment never comes? So just use them. And if you are using your grenades a lot, the same way I do, the game won't have time to fully charge 3 grenades. So no point in picking this aspect, at least for me. And that's okay, because the other 2 can enhance our build in 2 amazing different ways. You can choose Threaded Spectre and have a decoy on the field, your personal mini checks, and honestly, it's really good. Bosses will look at the decoy instead of you, but since I already made a build specializing in focusing on the decoy, I went with Ensnaring Slam, and I love it. It's so much fun. You see a bunch of enemies and you literally dive into action and suspend them. Such a fun and powerful ability. And while enemies are suspended, they can't do anything against you. Fragments wise, let's start with Thread of Warding. Picking up an Orb of Power gives you Woven Mail. It's a 45% damage resistance. Thread of Generation. Dealing damage generates grenade energy. Thread of Transmutation. While you have Woven Mail, Weapon Final Blows will create Tangles, and Thread of Continuity. Suspend, Unravel, and Sever will have increased duration. Stats-wise, prioritize Resilience, then Discipline, and last, Mobility. Artifact-wise, we are going to pick the 2 for Strand, Unraveling Orbs, and Ord Shuttle, and From Whence You Came and Wished Into Being should always be on for every build. Mods wise, in our helmet, I went with Access to Assets. We gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. Harmonic Siphon, rapid strand weapon kills will create an Orb of Power. And I choose Dynamo, so I get super when I use my class ability near targets. On our gloves and exotic of choice, let's start with Grenade Kickstart. Then Impact Induction, so we get 12% grenade energy when we do damage with our power melee, and Bolstering Detonation, we get 12% class ability when we do damage with a grenade. This way, our abilities feed each other. On our chest, I use 3 resist mods, 1 Void, 1 Solar, 1 Arc. You can custom it to different activities, but normally this is the way I run it. And in our boots, Recuperation and Innervation. This way we get health and grenade energy when we pick an Orb of Power, and stacks on stacks. So when we pick an orb, it counts as 2 charges instead of 1. It helps a lot with our grenade kickstart. It's basically there for grenade kickstart. On our class item, Distribution, it reduces all ability cooldowns when using our class ability near targets. Proximity Ward, so we get a powerful overshield while doing finishers. And Bomber, we get grenade energy when you use our class ability. And this is an amazing build. I know it's not new at all, but I try to build it in a way that I think it's a bit different, that most people see people using it in the wild, but I think it's so good. I've been using it and I love it. My friend was right. I love it. Amazing build, guys. Try it out. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you would change something. And don't forget to subscribe, because I intend to keep posting Destiny 2 content, especially with the final shape just around the corner. And thank you so much, guys. We finally reached 1,000 subs. It's all thanks to you. Thank you so much for the support. You guys are amazing. The Destiny community is an amazing community. That's the video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Bye, guys. See ya.